Hello, everyone. A real good morale booster when I get up to present people leaving the room, okay? And first of all, I'm sorry I don't have a design team like Ben has, so you're going to see white slides with black text. Yeah, at least it has the Meet Magento logo on it. This is the title. I'm going to explain it in a few minutes why I chose this. First of all, this is me. I'm Marius. I collaborate with Arnia Software for the moment. I'm a Magento addict, and these are my contact informations. I don't know why you'll need it, but anyway. So my talk is because it's in the core. But before I explain this, these are some images that I used online. Apparently, you have to state your sources, whatever. I'm going to tell you a short story to explain to you why I chose this presentation. So about 6.5 years ago, I bought an apartment that needed renovation. So I had known nothing about renovating stuff, so I hired a team. They came in, did some stuff. 2 weeks later, we had some disagreements, so we parted our ways peacefully. Yeah, right. So I was left with a quarter of an apartment renovated, so I had to bring another guys to do it. So I had like 5 teams came in to see what needs to be done, and none of them started the talk with, okay, how big is your apartment? What materials are you going to use? Do you have a deadline? Do you need this done that way or that way? No. Everyone just started with, what the hell did the previous guys do? Okay, this is shit, this is crap, this needs to be redone. None of them. So actually at the 3rd team, I think, I was saying, okay, I know this is crap, the other guys did it. No, that's not crap, this is okay, but the other thing here is crap. So a little voice in my head started saying, what a bunch of assholes. Instead of asking me, I don't know, proper questions to do their project, they keep bitching about what other people did. And then I stopped for a few seconds because another voice in my head said, do you know any other types of people that do this, bitch about other people's work when taking over a project? Well, do you? Right, developers. So who here has bitched about other people's code when taking over a project? Okay, almost everyone. That's nice. So yeah, this is why I chose this presentation. I'm going to bitch about the Magento core today. And yeah, okay, Ben, am I out of the community starting half an hour from now? Okay. Yeah, and the title of it is, because it's in the core, because this is an excuse or a reason I hear a lot when people say, okay, I did it like this because it's in the core. This is wrong. This should not be the main reason for which you do something. It should be, I don't know, if you put up the pros and cons of a way of doing something, and you end up leveled, this should be the decisive point, but not the main reason. So, a disclaimer, everything presented here is my point of view, nobody else's. The code is real, though, so what I'm going to present, there are references to the code you can check on GitHub. And the style of the presentation is a pamphlet and should be treated as one. The point of it is not to disrespect someone. Even if you look at it from an abstract point of view, it can even be educational. So yeah, I don't think anyone started drinking already, but if you get offended by this presentation, well, it's not my problem. I had some help on this, so about 2 years ago, I posted something on Magento Meta Stack Exchange asking about funny stuff in the core. A lot of people helped. You might recognize some faces in here. Ben, you might recognize some faces in here. So if I'm out of the community, you're out of the community. Yeah, so let's start with Magento 1. There's more stuff here about Magento 1 because I worked with Magento 1 a few more years than I did with Magento 2. A lot of stuff got ported to Magento 2. Where's Max? Yeah, Max. I'm going to make some pull requests to change this later. So, which one here did this? I mean, when creating a CRUD module in a controller somewhere in the list controller, you did this. add breadcrumb with some title, some label, and some link. Who did this in their CRUD modules? Why did you do this? Because it's in the core. What does this thing do? Nothing. Why it does nothing? Because there's a method that does nothing that's supposed to show the breadcrumbs. We're going to have to wait for Magento 1 beta 2 to get these breadcrumbs, but anyway, I'm still waiting. Another thing, when creating a new layout file, who did this? Put the layout version something, something, something. Why did you do this? Because it's in the core. What does this do? Nothing. Well, I think I'm lying here. I have no idea why it's doing nothing. I think I read a post from Ben somewhere saying that it was kind of an idea to do something, have versioning layouts, but that never went through, right? Okay. Anyway, stop doing this. Okay, someone cut off my clicker? Sure. Okay, I guess this is it. Clicker! Should I run now? Click, 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 click. Nothing.
That's what happens when you anger the Magento.
Yeah, no. I thought you were developing there, but you're actually sending messages like, cut this guy off, bring in security. Okay, can you just click the next slide? I don't care. Okay, people are starting to leave already. Come on, click it. Click it. Oh, okay. Thank you. Does it work now? Yeah, it works. Let's move on to something else. What do you find in the Magento core code? To-dos. Everyone writes to-dos because temporary fix or something like that. Okay, whatever. So in the Magento 1.9, there are about 350 to-dos, nothing fancy. You have the regular ones like this might be a bug, this should be removed in 1.3. Okay, we're in 1.9, but anyway. Show an invalid option, or separate in the pager, separate order mode and pager. Yeah, like someone's going to do that. You have some good ones. I love the first one because it involves get blah, blah, blah. Makes a lot of sense. Pretty easy to understand. Or something like, okay, when you need to do something, but you don't know how. Okay, we're going to rewrite var.io, but there's no possibility to read part of files. Or, yeah, I need to show out-of-stock products, but for now, let's just continue. Or, as you see highlighted there, retrieve all customer attributes and use a flat resource. Wait, what? There's a flat resource for customers? No, there's not. The awesome ones, when you have stuff like, okay, replace everything. With what? I don't know, but someone has to do it, has to replace everything. You can also find good advice in the to-dos. Move some parts to abstract and don't hesitate to throw exceptions on happy calls. This is actually good advice. Another one is use product collection here to ensure that the product is loaded. But the funny thing is that below this comment is just a load in a loop. So it actually doesn't use the collection, it just loads every product. Or stuff that are really, really clear, like put it somewhere in the config, or implement something. Yeah, makes sense. And the winners, from my point of view, I actually written a few to-dos like this, to-do and question marks, because you know there's something needs to be done there, but you don't know what. Or stupid fix of previous multi-row logic. I never saw multi-row logic in Magento 1, but I guess there was some point. And my all-time favorite, I've been waiting for at least 9 years for this, multi-stock inventory, which just for now returns 1. Let's move on to comments. What are comments useful for? What do you use comments in your code? Well, to properly explain what your method does, this is actually a screenshot that Ben gave me. There are 92 enter description here comments, and Yeah, Ben, I'm using your name that much because I don't want to get thrown out of the community, so. Or you can tell your colleagues that you put in some extra effort. Log in, send greetings email, and then die happy. Yeah, let them know you worked after quitting time. The classical here be dragons. Go ahead, try to understand how the taxes are applied. I went ahead, tried to understand, and didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Or basic math. This I understood. If you want, you can take a picture and try to see if the math works out. It works out. Now let's move on to some random code. Okay. You want to make sure that your collection is iterable. So what you do, you iterate through it. Do nothing, but you iterate through it. What else? Oh yeah, one for all and all for one. In the API 2 helper data, if one of the adapters is not enabled, then screw up all the adapters. Because why not? See it? You have if empty adapter enabled, unset adapters. There's an extra S in there. So, okay, ever wondered how discounts are calculated? Or the totals are collected? Just like this. What else? Oh, code consistency. This is my favorite. This is the code I wrote, but yeah, it's not in the core, but you'll get the idea. On one side, you have, let's say, we load a quote object, and we iterate for all its items. And at one point, you call item get quote. Do you know what that returns? Come on, it's not a trick question. It returns the quote object. But after that, do it the other way. Just load the quote item and call get quote. What does that return? Null. Yeah. Get quote only works if you do it in a collection that you retrieved from the code. Oddly, if you replace quote with order, it works as expected. You get the order there. Because for the order items, you have lazy loading for the order. For quote, you don't have. Anyway. Oh yeah, 2 hours well spent. My colleague Alex had this problem. He wanted to manipulate the product collection before rendering it. So I don't remember exactly what was. Put out of stock products at the end or move promotional products at the top. I don't remember exactly. So we tried it. Okay, there's an awesome event to do that. You have catalog block product list collection, and you receive the collection as a parameter, and after that is loaded. What happens when you observe this? Does anyone have an idea? Okay, so my picture is screwed up. That was supposed to say nothing. Nothing happens when you observe that. No collection is affected, no nothing. Why does that happen? Because there's a core observer in the review module that, notice there's a line in there, product collection load. So everything you add to the collection after that is just useless. If you want to know how we solve this, look me up after the presentation. It will cost you $5. And this is my all-time favorite. This shouldn't work, but it works. Ever played with the invoice PDF generation? Standard stuff, right? I did it. So it's pretty easy. I mean, the code is pretty nice. You insert the logo, the address, the order, the document number, and you draw the header after that. Anyway, not relevant because the PDF is just like a canvas. You can draw anything anywhere. But in the draw header method, there's a class initialized, Zen PDF color red, green, blue. Notice that the RGB are uppercase, but the class defined, the G and the B are lowercase. But that works. Why does that work? Anyone? Why can you load a class even if it's... No, really? Yeah, the class names are case insensitive, but the file names are not, at least on Linux. And the file name is capital R and the lowercase g and b. Why does that work? It works. I mean, you printed the PDF and it works, but it shouldn't work. I spent like half an hour investigating this. Huh? It does work. It does work because in the insert order method, the same class is instantiated, but with the proper name this time. So the second time when you reach draw header, the autoloader doesn't look for the file again. It just loads the class was already loaded. Try to comment the insert order line, and you'll see you'll get an error. Oh yeah, and the no comment stuff, I'm not gonna, everyone knows what this is, right? You know what this file is? I'm not gonna comment on it. No, no one? Thank you. Don't do it just because it's in the core. So now let's move on to Magento 2. To-dos, a few of them, so about 200. You have the regular stuff like refactor stuff, move method, I don't know where, but move method, or need to use object manager, which I learned that you shouldn't use object manager, but anyway, it's better than using new. The good ones, these are my favorite because all three of them are from the same class. So someone was really confident when writing this code. Okay, instead of get button class, maybe you should use get class, but 20 lines below, instead of get class, maybe we should use get button class. Again, the third one is there because of the word perhaps. Like I said, someone was really taking notes, Ben. The awesome ones, the first one is there because you may have seen it before with the breadcrumbs and stuff. The classical fix me or do something. Yeah, clean up script, copy paste. Do you have copy paste detection for the core? Because you should. And the winners, just a simple to do. Need to figure out how the data works with forms. Yeah, I need to do that also. I still don't understand. And check out if stuff is still used, or try to understand why something is used. And this is actual code from Magento 2. Notice something in there? Yeah, you notice it because it's highlighted. Yeah, I tried to come up with some words about this, but I couldn't, so I searched online and found a few words from a random Stack Overflow moderator saying that it's okay to have go-tos, but if you really need to use them, it means you're in big trouble. The airplane comparison is really nice in there, so I'll give you like 5 seconds to read this. Yeah, and I'm not gonna try to refactor this and submit a pull request. Move on to Object Manager. You should never use Object Manager directly. These are just 6 examples, but there are millions of them in the code. I'm sorry, the quality is bad, so. Okay, number of dependencies. What I've learned in school is never have more than 6 or 7 dependencies. If you do, you need to split up your class. So let's play name that class. Which class is this one? What? Which? Product model. Okay. Next one, name that class. This one is a bit smaller. Name that class. Order. Someone said order, right? Okay. Order model. And last one. Quote. Oh, you've been playing the same game I did, right? Yeah, that's the quote model. This should not work. Reloaded. Really? Same thing. Ported to. Yeah. I promise I'm going to fix this and submit a PR. Initially, I wanted to bitch about the tech stack, but I was afraid not to make the presentation too long, and it's not technically Magento codes. There are a lot of issues like this in Zen Framework 1 and 2 and Symfony and Required.js, and the tech is too big. So I'm going to finish my presentation with this because I realized something while investigating this tech stack. For me, Magento 2 looks like an elaborate scheme to make people learn everything. So, yeah, you can. You can quote me on that if you want. I'm going to leave the slides. This is the last slide. It's just the Q&A. Okay, enough? So if you have questions, please. Can we get a microphone? And wait a second, we'll get a microphone.
In class today.
Yeah. Go.
I have one question about PDF generation. You said inside it has back practice, and what practice have you used it for that?
What do you mean? No, I embraced it and forget
Oh,
about it.
you just found this code and said that it is looks incorrect, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not here to come up with solutions. I'm here just to bitch about the core. So. Any other question? I know this is the kind of presentation that doesn't get you many questions, so that's why I made it.
Okay.
Of course you did. Did Thaler
Andro.
send you a few questions?
Why do you still work with Magento?
To bitch about it? Find more stuff that I can bitch about it?
Are you contributing your own fixes to Magento 2 repository?
Did you talk to Max about this? He made you ask me that? No, I did a few pull requests and I'm going to do a few more, but I didn't do them until now because I didn't want to ruin my presentation. So I still first wanted to bitch about it and then fix them.
Oh, okay.
Max, did you have a question? No.
Of course. Yeah, let's take it outside. What? I don't know. Haven't decided yet, until I find something better to do.
Any other questions?
No. Oh, look me up later. I got Magento Stack Exchange stickers, if you want.
Super. A big round of applause, please, for Marius.
Thank you.